Next up, we've got Tanner's pick, which was the 2022 film Nope, a fantastic little Key and Peele movie, except only one of those two.
Which one?
The Peele.
Dude, you got it right. Nope is the story of some horse wranglers out in the desert, and then they find out there's an alien there taking their horses, and then they discover it's not an alien ship, it's a big animal in the shape of a ship. And they decide they want to get a picture of it to become rich and famous, and then it kills a bunch of people, and then they kill it. The end. Fun fact, this was the first horror movie ever shot on IMAX.
Oh.
This would be a cool one to watch on IMAX.
I agree. Right now I am sitting at an A.
I'm sitting at an A- personally.
Wow. Dylan's also at an A, and I'm at a B personally.
Whoa.
Okay. Are you stupid or something, huh, buddy? Huh? You stupid, huh?
I just don't like black people.
You not get it, huh? Nico, what's the theme of this movie?
I mean, you know, it could have multiple themes. Grief is a big one.
Dude, this guy's retarded. I don't think he got the movie.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I think this movie is pretty solid. I think it does a good job with its themes, like it alludes to. Sticking on to the past, I think, is a big one. There's a massive amount of connections between Jupe and his past, and then currently what he's doing with the fucking alien. It's a very similar connection to draw with like him putting on the show of like the fucking trauma show with the alien that he was doing with the monkey almost. There's a lot of connections with him and the alien and shit, and they try to draw lots of parallels to that situation. I would say just kicking it off immediately, and then we can go into more positives about this movie. I think my biggest flaw with this movie is just the ending. Not a fan of how it ends at all. Honestly, it kind of fucking spoiled it for me, because I was really into this movie until it turned daytime, and then it started losing me a bit. The whole setup for like their plan of, I guess, getting the alien was kind of fucking cheesy to me and unrealistic. Some of the, like with a lot of horror movies, I really just don't like when they have the monster like out in the open and up and close. I do think it's cool that it starts fucking flaunting and stuff and sees him as an actual threat, like it is, because it is just a big animal basically. But I don't know, it really just kind of like lost a lot of wind when I got to that point. I just didn't really care a crazy amount. I just wasn't into it when it turned into like an action movie more than like it felt like a very different movie than the first like 2/3, which I liked a lot.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem for me as well, and I think I just hold it against the film a lot more than you do, because that section lasts for a fucking long time, and I just do not like how much they're showing the alien at that point. It really takes the wind out of my sails.
Yeah, I get why they're doing it. Like, I realized I like the idea behind their plan. I wish they had more people in on it. Like, they have all of this work they could do. Also, they're trying to like make money off of it too, which leads more into like their themes. Like it's their folly, that their own hubris that's leading them down this path of stupidity, basically. And the alien is being really aggro against them because it still has like a bit of a grudge against them fucking with it a couple of times with like the fake horse and things like that. So it's pissed off and it wants to fucking kill them specifically, as you know, shown in other scenes, like when it's hovering over the house. And that's why it's like out and about and not trying to like hide itself as often it was previously, because it is trying to make a big show of it. But like I get all of that. It all makes sense to me. I just didn't really care that much about it. I wasn't a big fan of the spectacle of the situation personally.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the opposite side of you guys. I didn't have a problem with the ending. I think largely because it did like have like an internal logical consistency with the events of the film. I guess I have to ask, like, what do you, like, before you saw that, what did you imagine the ending was going to be like?
Also, I kind of considered a bad ending for this movie, where it's because I don't know. There's like even like there's themes of like animal abuse and stuff with this movie, with like the horse wrangling. You know, they're fucking selling off horses to this guy basically just to sacrifice the fucking situations with them. In the TV, obviously the parallels between the fucking monkey and him not being in the situation they should have been. And I really think the fucking monkey, whatever his name is supposed to be a parallel to the alien. And they're basically just recording exactly like their situation of trying to capture the alien is basically a very similar parallel to the fucking studio capturing like the monkey event. And I don't know. I feel like it kind of goes against what the movie's trying to say with like the anti like animal abuse almost perspective of it, because they just fucking kill the thing in a very similar way they do with, you know, the monkey. But so like that makes sense in that regard. But I don't know. I feel like they should have been trying to portray it like it's like a better approach, you know?
I disagree just because I don't think the theme was like anti-animal abuse per se, but like...
It's actually pro.
It's more so that like exploiting wild animals can horrifically backfire, and that's why you shouldn't do it.
And yet the main characters do that though, and they get away with it.
Sure, but wait, what? Yeah, well, I mean, they're not the ones doing it. Jupe is the one who's doing it, really, and he dies.
True, but they're also the ones trying to record it and capture it, like, you know, with the fucking movies, and they get away with it, is the implication I'm trying to say.
I can kind of see that. I think I disagree with you there. And plus, I mean, the monkey gets shot and killed too, so...
I know, I'm trying to say I wish it was that they were better than them. If anything, I feel like the best way is... Honestly, I don't really know exactly. That's why I was saying I wish the movie kind of had like a bad ending, because it shows that you shouldn't fall back into these, like the fucking pendulum of time type thing. Could have been interesting, where they basically just repeat the events of the past and then get punished for it.
I guess. My biggest attraction was, and this is relatively minor, I just felt like some of the dialogue fell into this hole where it's just like, it felt too much like the characters are like winking and nodding at the audience like, yeah, you're watching a movie right now.
No fucking idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I just mean like they're saying shit that no human being would ever say. But for the positives, I mean, I think it's a very well done movie. I think it's very creative, especially with like the alien design and how it is alien. Like you're watching and you're like, I don't understand how the fuck this thing works.
Quick hypothetical, or maybe not hypothetical, but just like a thought experiment for you guys. Do you think it's actually an alien, or do you think it's legitimately some shit that's been on Earth? Because like it knows how to hide. It's like adapted to the environment. Is that because it's just really good at adapting to the environment? Or is it like a species that has been on Earth this entire time and it just hasn't been caught because like how would you?
That's an interesting question. I'd lean towards yes, it's an alien, just because like it's just so wildly different from any other like earthly life form. And also, like, the name of the movie, Nope, is supposed to be an acronym for Not of Planet Earth.
Is that supposed to be, or is that just some people have theorized?
I don't know.
Okay.
They do talk about, like, the fucking UFO, it's not called that anymore type thing, so I assume it leans into that. But
Yeah, perhaps.
The alien design's fucking pretty sick. It's very novel in what it is. Especially because, like, at first you don't... It actually takes a bit to, like, realize it is truly just some fucking animal flying around. And I think that's very cool, especially, like, when you put the pieces together. Completely, like, flips the movie, like, what it's trying to present in its head with a lot of the characteristics of the alien itself. My favorite scene, I think the big standout for this movie, and honestly what made me, like... Basically, this movie's kind of like a bell curve with me. I wasn't, like, crazy interested at the start, and then it got to, like, the cool-ass fucking scenes, and then it kind of, like, tapered off at the end again. But that scene where he fucking eats all of the people at the show, and then just fucking chews them up over the house, that shit was so fucking well shot and horrifying. They did such a good job of, like, the fucking terror that these people are experiencing, being stuck inside of like its esophagus or whatever the fuck it's supposed to represent, and then like cutting back into like the internals of the alien, and then just the shot of it over its fucking house, stopping all of the rain from hitting it while it's just showering blood on them, is so fucking cool and such striking visual imagery. Honestly, this could have been. I don't know. If they just changed how they did the ending, I could have seen myself loving this movie, like high S tier.
Yeah,
because they had something magical going with that shit.
Yeah. Also, like the sound design over that section too, where like as it's flying overhead, it's like whatever happens to be inside it screaming.
Yeah. I do question though if like it's actually that, or if it's just like playing those noises like out of like a speaker almost kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, the sound design of this movie is really good, specifically with the alien, like you had mentioned. It's very well done. Just from like a production standpoint, this movie is really well done. It's got great cinematography. It's a very consistently well shot movie overall.
Yeah.
I do comment on this a lot. I do think it's funny. We've got a black director with black main characters, and like the main dude is just like a fucking unlockable character throughout a lot of the movie, which kind of sucks. I mean, the technology's still not like fully there. You got to do some fancy color grading to make it work with people with darker skin complexions, but it's crazy how fucking like hard to see he was for a lot of it.
Did you know the whole movie was day for night?
Yeah, you could tell.
Well, I was wondering if Jackson knew that.
I don't know what the fuck is day for night.
It means all of the nighttime scenes are shot at night, and then they color correct it to look, or they're shot during the day, and then they color correct to make it look like nighttime.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. And that's probably mostly because Nico and I, our viewing experience was pretty dog shit for a lot of the dark parts of the movie, unfortunately, because we were watching in our bright-ass living room, and we could barely see fucking anything. And we had to go and move over to Nico's room so we could actually watch in the dark and see what the fuck was going on.
Funny.
Like, I swear to God, like for the first like 45 minutes of the movie, I was just looking at my reflection more than the actual movie.
So speaking of the main character, why'd they name him OJ?
Funny.
I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it really is just like they wanted that one fucking bit or something.
I suppose so.
Dude, they name him OJ and his sister is Emerald, and then the whole time he's wearing orange and she's wearing green.
Holy shit.
It just makes sense, man. It just makes sense.
Yeah, I also think this movie is very well paced and is a pretty tight package. Like, I think it's like almost 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I feel like it flies by.
Except for the big action sequence near the end, in which case it feels like it comes to a fucking halt.
Dude.
Yeah, I certainly was just kind of waiting for that shit to end when it got to that point. But for everything prior to that, I was a big fan. I will say, for some reason, I totally had a much more negative perception of this movie going into it than for some reason. Maybe it was another random, like, desert shot horror movie with aliens that I'm conflating it with. I'm not entirely sure.
That could be anything.
Yeah, for some, that's not a very generic or very novel, I guess, setting. But, yeah, for some reason I thought this movie was like much more like not hated but like looked down upon than it actually was. But yeah, no, this is a pretty well enjoyed movie from most people, and I'm definitely excited to watch more of this guy's movies because I've heard this isn't even like the best one.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the least talked about of his films, which is kind of intentional. Like he's on the record saying like, yeah, I just kind of wanted to make a blockbuster to get people back in the theaters after COVID.
Good for him.
Fuck, what was I gonna say?
Did you guys like how the monkey didn't kill the boy because the boy didn't look into its eyes?
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, that's symbolism, and that's the whole reason why he thought he was special and why he could tame the beast.
Oh yeah.
Did you like how his cowboy suit had like a UFO on the back?
That was pretty cool. Do you guys think that he was motivated by profit at all?
Nah, I'd say he was mostly in it for the fame.
Yeah, I agree. For the third time, what do you guys think of the value of the scenes with our guy, Jupe? Because, like, obviously, a lot of it is there to position the parallels between him and, like, what the alien's doing, and add some more insight from a different perspective than our main characters. But, what do you guys think about that whole plot line in general, I guess? Because it takes up a large part of the movie.
I think, since this is a horror movie, and they probably couldn't justify the alien constantly doing shit, that having those scenes in there to add that bit of, oh fuck, that monkey fucking killed those people, kind of helps it maintain that scary tone throughout.
Fair enough. I did think that scene where Jupe's under the desk, or whatever the fuck it was, when the monkey's in the room just like beating that woman to death, and then chasing down the dude that was on the stairs on the set. Very well done, very tense feeling. Personally, I don't have an issue with like the Jupe stuff. I've seen criticisms of it before that it kind of like takes away some of the pacing, I guess, of the movie, but I don't really care.
I don't like how much Jupe sounds like a slur.
Also true.
I understand where you're coming from there. Pretty solid movie overall, though.
Unless Dylan had some other thoughts. He didn't.
He gave an A, so I'd assume he has a lot nice to say about it. Well, maybe not a lot, but nice things to say about it.
Yeah.
Probably something along the lines of, yeah, it was a good movie.
Dude, My girlfriend and I were both hitting on Keke Palmer during this movie.
Holy smokes.
I think she's okay.
You would.
I would, you're right. Anyways, that landed at an A- overall.